So, I don't know why my first thought when I'm filming is to touch my face. That's weird. But moving on. Anyway, so one of the biggest reasons I started this channel was to talk about, mental health and all the things like that. Because, I mean, like this story comes from personal experience, so I'm kind of excited to share it with you guys. Hopefully, it will help some people who would like me. Because, like, it's just so important to address this kind of stuff. Yeah, so we begin. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how I want to tell this story. I'll figure it out. I was camping with some of my friends, and we were there for a couple of days. Well, it's about like a week, but like a few days through is when stuff started to happen. I was very upset because I kept doing, I felt like I kept messing things up, like a clumsy screw-up person that no one wants around. Because, I would take too much food, or I would get upset about something that's not a big deal, and, stuff like that. What's going on with my hair? Why does my hair so much weirder? But, yeah, things like that, were happening, and one night I just was crying around the campfire, and one of the girls was like, hey, she's upset. What do we do? Because they didn't, it's really hard to have the experience or, know how to, cheer people up or, really talk about, what's going on with them. So, it's hard for people to do that. I get it. I'm that way too. Sometimes I don't know how to comfort people. But anyways, yeah, so I was really, I was crying, and I was so angry and just in a bad mood because I felt like a horrible person who couldn't do anything right and was basically failing society. And one leader, one person who was chaperoning, because we were all underage teenagers, she took me aside, and you won't believe what she told me. She said, that I was going to ruin the experience for everyone else because I was upset. Oh, even thinking about it now, I'm and that of course did not help me at all. That just made me cry more. She was upset. She's like, being angry is a choice. You need to get it together, or else you having a bad time is gonna make everyone else have a bad time. That was basically the message she was trying to give me. She's like, girl, chill for the better of everybody. What you doing? Stop crying. She didn't sound that harsh. She was just trying to be like, hey, if you could just calm down. But she actually was I did quote, she actually did say being angry is a choice, and then I'm going to ruin people's time at camp because I was upset. So that is true. Just, I was exaggerating a little bit, other than, those two things. But, Anyway, so yeah, she left. I was crying even more, sitting away from the campsite, and uh, someone came up to me and was like, "Why are you crying?" And I told her what happened, and she's like, "I can't believe she said that to you. Like, that's so mean. That's so rude." And I was like, "Thank you." So, yeah, there are a lot of things not to say to people with mental health issues. Like, we know that it sucks, so it's not very helpful for you to tell us that by us having a problem, it's gonna be a problem for everybody else. I mean, you do affect the people you're around a little bit, but like, don't tell me that me feeling my emotions is going to give you a bad weekend. Like, I'm sorry, me being upset makes you want to put duct tape over my mouth and tie me up in a corner, but I am not a robot, okay? Like, everyone is allowed to get upset. Like, mm. So yeah, if you see someone and you know that they have like an issue with like anxiety or like depression or schizophrenia or um, OCD, ADHD, Asperger's. What's the other one? There's more. Um, Optimism. Like 1,000 other things. Um, like, don't. That is not the way to react to the situation. It's probably best to just, like, literally just, like, ask what is bothering them instead of trying to urge them to calm down because they need to do that themselves. You telling them, get it together, or else, like, it's basically the end of the world, it's not gonna do anything. That's just gonna make it worse. So, like, please don't do what the chaperone leader did in this story. Like, don't do what she did, please. Just, like, take it from someone who has, like, anxiety. Like, it's scary, and I have had panic attacks before, even in public. I mean, it was just once in public, but still, like, just, like, don't force them to calm down. Just talk with them, or if they don't want to talk about it, just treat them like you normally would. The person who doesn't have, like, a mental illness. Just, like, be their friend for a minute. Sometimes all people need is a good distraction and someone who supports them. So, that, like, there are thousands of other things I could say about this. Like how I was watching Frozen 2 with my, like, extended family, like my cousins and stuff, and at the end of the movie, I was like, you know what? I think Anna could have anxiety and Elsa could have depression. Like, just an idea. I mean, it kind of is supposed to be about mental health a little bit. I feel like it could translate to that. And she was like, oh, no, Elsa's too happy to be depressed. And I'm like, girl, are you kidding me? Depression is not constantly always only being sad. You know that, right? Like, depression is just a symptom where it's easier for you to go back to being kind of more sad, you know, like you're more sensitive about things, but it's not like that's your every single day and all you can do from when you wake up and when you sleep and everything in between, you're just crying your eyes out. Like, yeah, that can happen every once in a while, but it's not like someone with depression can't laugh. It just, someone with depression, like, it's just harder for them to enjoy things or, you know, feel an interest in things. And, you know, like, things are maybe a bit more triggering to them than normal people. But that doesn't mean that they, like, never smile. You know what I'm saying? And just to clear up on what anxiety is not like you're watching a horror movie and you know a jump scare. English, okay. You know a jump scare is coming and you're like really, really terrified and you know that it's gonna happen and then it does and you're still scared. Like that's, I mean, maybe that's a type of anxiety, you know, like the impatience of knowing something's gonna happen. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm just speaking from personal experience. Like, anxiety is more like, this is the only analogy I can think of, but there's plenty of other things. Say you are stressed about doing your taxes. A person who doesn't have anxiety while doing them would be like, ugh, don't want to do this. You know, like they can do it just fine. But like someone with anxiety would have the anticipation and the connection in their brain that it is hard for them and it is scary and it is something that they don't want to deal with and they panic beforehand and even maybe while they're doing it and they're just like, just breathe. You know, like someone's scared of something that is just normal to everybody else. You know, like anxiety is not like, you know, like Halloween scary kind of thing. Like that's just generally being scared. Anxiety is more like any time of the year about anything. It could make you panic and freak out because you're just, your brain, that's just how it reacts to something that it sees negative. So it's like, you know, like it's just know the difference between two things. I could have talked specifically about all of them. I just have experience with the two of anxiety and depression because, I mean, I woke up today and had a panic attack, so. Just for no reason. I just woke up and started crying, and then all the other symptoms followed. Which reminds me, you should know when someone does have a panic attack. They might hyperventilate. They could easily, like they could be crying. Making like strange, you know, like the noises people make while crying, like, you know, like the moaning noises like that. So there's that. They could also be twitching or shaking or restless, you know, or they could be the total opposite and be completely stiff. So those are kind of like some traits and symptoms of someone who has it. And I can tell you, like, there was a time when it was bad for me because there were nights when it was like 6 a.m. and I went to bed at like, you know, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I would just stay up for like hours all night because my thoughts were so busy that I couldn't sleep, or I wouldn't want to eat like anything. So like my eating and sleeping habits like totally just like fluctuated, and I was crying on the couch all day, and I stopped exercising and stopped doing schoolwork. You know, I stopped doing like everything that could actually help me improve. So, yeah, your mental health is pretty serious. Like, it's important. You can't have mental health, like, you can't have physical health or mental health without each other, okay? Because taking care of yourself gives you confidence, so your brain is better, but you can't get your body to do it unless you're motivated in here, in your forehead. No, just kidding, your brain. What else could I say? I feel like I had a train of thought, and then as soon as I opened my mouth, it was just, it's gone. But, yes, just, be careful what you say to people with these symptoms. Make sure they get the help that they need. Or, like, there are plenty of, self-help lines that you can, people you can call. And, just be there. You don't have to do anything special. Like, you don't have to, oh, I know you're having a bad day, so here's, your favorite candy or something. Like, that's nice, but that isn't really, sometimes sympathy isn't what the person needs, because as much as it's there, and that is an issue that they have to deal with every day, it's not something that people always want to be, acknowledging about themselves, they already know that they have this illness, but they don't want to be yeah, other people know that I do this. They want, things still. I don't know what this hand gesture is supposed to be. My nose is itchy. So, I don't know why I keep rambling on. There's something much I could add. Yeah, just be careful what you say, and what you do. Treat people with respect, and get them the help that they need, and all these other things. There's just a lot to it. Coming from someone who has that experience of crying for no reason or hyperventilating, treat me like a person. It's that simple. Okay, this video is getting very long, and my throat is getting very dry, so I'm gonna go get some water. I will see you guys later. Hopefully this was helpful. I probably rambled a lot, but yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, and bye. These hand gestures, man.